Before I begin, I just want to extend my thanks to the Belvedere Research Center for organizing this conference and to my fellow panelists for their very interesting presentations. For anyone seeking specialized knowledge about an art museum's holdings, collection catalogs are an indispensable resource. Written by experts in the field, they aggregate the latest curatorial research and scientific discoveries about a select group of objects, along with histories of publication, exhibition, and ownership. Like many encyclopedic art museums, the Nelson-Atkins Museum of Art in Kansas City, Missouri, has published several such catalogs over the past 25 years, each devoted to a different collection strength. These analog publications follow a prescribed format. They contain one or two introductory essays, full-page color images of the chosen artworks, and scholarly entries accompanied by a small number of black and white comparative figures. When the Nelson-Atkins began preparing a catalog of its French collection in 2008, the plan was to follow this very successful precedent. An academic press was selected to distribute the book with a projected print run of 2,000. However, in 2009, the Getty Foundation in Los Angeles formed the Online Scholarly Catalog Initiative to help museums make the transition to digital publishing. 8 American museums participated in this experiment by producing an electronic publication that suited their institution's needs. Here you see the landing page for the National Gallery of Art's Dutch Paintings catalog. While the Nelson-Atkins was not a partner in this particular venture, museum leadership quickly realized the potential of online publishing and decided that French Paintings and Pastels would be its first digital collection catalog. In what follows, I will briefly trace the catalog's evolution over the past 12 years, highlight some of its born digital content and features, and discuss the advantages of a hybrid publishing model. In 2007, local philanthropists Henry and Marion Bloch announced their plans to bequeath 29 Impressionist and Post-Impressionist masterpieces to the Nelson-Atkins. This donation, which included paintings by Edouard Manet, Georges Seurat, and other titans of 19th century art, would considerably strengthen the museum's French holdings. In 2008, research for the catalog began, and an outside conservation scientist was engaged to assist with technical analysis. In 2010, the project was reconceived as an online book, and in 2015, the museum formally accessioned the Bloch gift. During this period, the Nelson-Atkins considered a variety of digital publication platforms, since no industry standard had yet been established. A partnership with the Getty in 2017 allowed us to beta test Quire, an open source publishing tool available on the code sharing site GitHub. We became one of the first institutions to adopt this technology. Finally, in February 2021, the Nelson-Atkins officially launched its French collection catalog. The inaugural installment included 4 artworks, an interactive timeline, and an essay by editor Amy Marstro-Digalen on the collecting of French paintings in Kansas City. Its release was announced not only via traditional news outlets, but also on social media, using the newly created hashtag French Paintings Friday. Since then, the museum has published 2 additional pictures on the last Friday of every month. The catalog can be accessed from WorldCat, Google Books, or the museum's website. When you navigate to the homepage, clicking the triple bar in the upper right corner reveals a pop-out table of contents. Objects are arranged chronologically by artistic movement and then alphabetically by artist's last name within those subcategories. The publication installments page, which you see here highlighted in red, provides a month-by-month breakdown of the published artworks, with the most recent listed at top. Each object has its own web page, such as the one seen here for Renoir's Pinning the Hat, which was released in June 2021. On the left is an image viewing tool called Leaflet that offers a lot of really exciting features. The plus and minus signs in the upper left corner enable zooming, permitting visitors to study small details in high resolution. This function is especially useful for the infrared reflectograms, photomicrographs, and other specialized images that accompany the technical entries. The left and right arrows allow users to flip between images. The toggle icon facilitates side-by-side comparison of any two images, something that is not possible in analog publications unless the images appear on adjacent pages. The Nelson-Atkins is also in the process of updating its collection images to be compatible with IIIF, short for the International Image Interoperability Framework, which, if you're not familiar, is an open standard for delivering high-quality audiovisual files to users. On the right side of each object page, the content is organized into collapsible sections, outlined here in red. Handy reference guides make it easy for scholars to cite each section in Chicago or MLA style. Separate digital object identifiers, known as DOIs, have been assigned to the catalog essay, technical essay, and the documentation section, providing stable links that will continue to work even if the catalog URL changes. Visitors can peruse this content in multiple ways. The download PDF button generates a PDF file for that particular object, which is conducive to both computer screens and e-readers like iPad. One can also download a PDF of the entire catalog from the pop-out menu shown earlier. Another option is the web reader mode, which adheres to accessible design principles. Alt text has been created for the museum's collection images and will soon be available for the comparative figures as well, allowing screen readers to describe the images for non-sighted users. So for example, the alt text for Pinning the Hat, which you see at the bottom of this slide, reads, "Two girls decorate a hat. On the right is a brunette seen from behind, and on the left is a strawberry blonde girl." Foreground and background colors were chosen based on their contrast ratios, making the content more legible for people with low vision. And we also relied fairly heavily on web evaluation tools, such as the browser extension Wave, which flag any content that might present accessibility issues. When using the web reader mode, users can view glossary definitions and endnotes by hovering their cursor over underlined terms and superscript numbers. For example, if you rest your cursor over the word etchings in the first paragraph here, a boxed explanation appears directly above. These definitions are also organized alphabetically within the glossary itself. A major advantage of online publications is their ample storage capacity. In the analog collection catalogs published by the Nelson-Atkins, each entry contained a small number of comparative figures due to cost and space considerations. Here you see a representative example from the American Paintings catalog. Apart from the color reproduction of Reginald Marsh's picture, the sole illustration is a black and white quarter-page image. By contrast, the French collection catalog has the luxury of numerous high-definition illustrations for each object. Some works have as many as 40 comparative figures, as is the case for Exit from the Theater, a genre scene attributed to Honoré Daumier, seen here. Included in that tally are photographs of microscopic details, such as incised marks and paint cross-sections, as well as images of verso inscriptions, all of which are either invisible to the naked eye or hidden from sight when the painting is on view in the galleries. Such virtual insights enrich and supplement a physical encounter with the object. Additionally, because an online catalog is not limited to a certain number of pages, the Nelson-Atkins is able to include an exhaustive list of exhibitions and bibliographic references for every artwork, rather than citing only major retrospectives and monographs. Paul Gauguin's Fataruma, for instance, has been loaned to 41 exhibitions in 9 different countries since its creation in 1891. It has been mentioned in 272 academic publications, written in 9 different languages, including Hungarian and Slovakian, all of which are identified chronologically in the catalog. This digital record keeping also has an analog component. Hard copies of each and every exhibition catalog and publication are deposited in the European Department's curatorial files, where they are available for consultation by staff and visiting scholars. French Paintings and Pastels also offers more detailed provenance narratives than are typical of collection catalogs, again, due to the lack of space constraints. Nearly every change in ownership is accompanied by a lengthy footnote, like the 2 shown here, directing readers to published and archival sources documenting those transactions. Another benefit of the online book format is the capacity for interactive content. French Paintings and Pastels includes a dynamic timeline that juxtaposes the history of Kansas City with that of the Nelson-Atkins. Users can click on the black and orange arrows to see larger versions of the thumbnail images and more detailed captions. For instance, the first event in the Nelson-Atkins column is illustrated by this rare surviving portrait of Mary Atkins, one of the original donors for whom the museum was named. Further down, readers learned that 1933 was a landmark year for Kansas City, as it gained both a public university and an art museum within a span of about 2 months. The timeline also highlights significant purchases and donations of French art, in particular, the aforementioned gift from the Bloch family in 2015. Here you see staff and board members applauding as Henry Bloch formally hands over his collection to the Nelson-Atkins just a month before his 93rd birthday. Thanks to services like Google Analytics, which allow one to evaluate web traffic in real time, it is easier to gauge the impact of digital publications like French Paintings and Pastels than it was their analog forebears. A recent Google Analytics report revealed the following: that over 14,000 people have accessed the Nelson-Atkins catalog since its launch 11 months ago, amounting to an average of 50 unique visitors per day. That 22% of those users hailed from foreign countries, 113 countries to be exact, but primarily the United Kingdom, France, Canada, Germany, Italy, and China, as indicated by the chart and map you see here, and that the catalog has racked up over 86,000 page views since its inception. We also learned that of the 26 French artworks published thus far, the most popular have been Vincent van Gogh's Olive Trees, Edouard Manet's The Croquet Party, Claude Monet's Boulevard des Capucines, Francois Boucher's Landscape with a Watermill, and Nicolas Poussin's The Triumph of Bacchus. This type of data would be difficult and time-consuming to gather for print publications, but is readily available for online ones. Due to its serial nature, the French collection catalog will not be published in full until July 2025. Once that milestone is reached, the Nelson-Atkins will produce an analog version of the catalog containing only entries on works from the Bloch collection, a gesture of thanks to the Bloch Family Foundation for its critical and ongoing support. With a limited print run of 500, this book will be offered for sale in the museum store. For practical reasons, only a single unabridged hard copy will be printed for the museum's Spencer Art Reference Library. The contents of the digital catalog would fill an estimated 2,400 pages, to be split across 3 volumes of 800 pages each. Given its enormous size, it would be cost prohibitive to produce a commercial print edition of the complete catalog, but a non-saleable copy will eventually be available on site for research purposes. In-person visitors to the Nelson-Atkins are directed to the French collection catalog at several junctures. Freestanding banners and so-called lollipop signs near entrances to the European galleries promote this digital resource and provide a QR code for easy access. Flyers in the Spencer Art Reference Library, positioned near the public printer and on a bookcase of recent publications, 2 places where people often linger, alert library patrons to the catalog's existence. And object labels steer visitors to the mobile app Smartify, which provides direct links to the French collection catalog. Here you see the label for Paul Cézanne's Quarrière de Bimous, with the Smartify icon outlined in red. When visitors open the Smartify app on their phones and scan an artwork on display, they are brought to the Smartify webpage for that object. Each page includes tombstone information, a short description, and a hyperlink to French paintings and pastels. So by stationing analog advertisements at strategic locations and connecting Smartify to the French collection catalog, the Nelson-Atkins seeks to engage a wide variety of visitors, from casual museum goers to student researchers and tech-savvy millennials. In closing, I would just like to thank the many foundations and benefactors who have very generously supported the French collection catalog over the past 12 years, especially the Marion and Henry Bloch Family Foundation, the National Endowment for the Humanities, the National Endowment for the Arts, the Andrew W. Mellon Foundation, the Samuel H. Kress Foundation, and Adelaide Cobb Ward. Their assistance made it possible for the Nelson-Atkins to really reimagine what a collection catalog could be. Though the museum has forged ahead with digital publishing, it continues to find value in more traditional analog media. And it is this unique hybridity that grants people across the globe unprecedented access to the Nelson-Atkins French collection. Thank you.